Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Speak On It with the Keenan Boys. I'm Trevor Keenan, one of the hosts, and it's nice to have you here again. We're going to start off with our first segment, just get right into it.
Yeah. Go with
right here.
Right there. All right. Well, first, how's your day going?
Day was long. Still in Detroit. Still doing just normal, regular electrician job stuff. Nothing crazy. Nothing out of the ordinary today, honestly. It was pretty okay. I'd say I'm a little bit tired. But other than that, I'm pretty alright.
You want to tell the people what you're doing in Detroit? What kind of work you're doing?
I'm doing what we call finishing work at the moment, just because that's where we're at the stage of the job site I'm on. So I'm just putting in plugs, putting in switches, putting up lights, stuff like that. So nothing too special, but definitely can get tiring after doing the same thing over and over. So
yeah, full day's worth of work and
And we're on the 6th floor, so it's up every time you got to do something. You know what I mean? You're going up 6 flights of steps, so it's always
with tools and
yep. So yeah.
All right.
What about yourself? How was your day?
Not bad. Worked on my car today. It's running. That's always a good thing.
A to B back to A. That's really all you need. So that's good.
That's all I need. Did that. Worked on a little platter here today.
Right.
And got a smoothie. Can't forget your smoothies.
Tropical smoothie.
Tropical smoothie.
Gotta give the shout out to the tropical.
Shout out to tropical smoothie.
What'd you get? Beach bug?
No, I usually get the Blimey Limey. Shout out to her dad for suggesting that. But okay. I got a peanut butter shake today.
There you go.
Been trying to work out a little bit more often so my muscles are sore. Wanted some protein.
Nice.
Got some whey. No way.
No way. That's what's up.
But yeah, did that today and about it. That's not bad. Car's functioning.
Okay, that's always good. Anything else? No.
I'll talk to our grandma. Make sure she was okay.
She's doing good.
She's doing real well. She's at home living it up. It's always fun to kind of sit down for a nice 45 to an hour and make sure she's doing good. Watch a couple old shows. She was doing. I think it was Little House on the Prairie today.
There you go.
Classic for all those that like to watch
gotta
it.
Gotta love it.
But
and I did remember. Sorry to everyone about episode 1. Episode 1 and 2 will be getting dropped on the same day. That'll be Saturday. So we're gonna do our podcast on Fridays, and I'll probably upload either late Friday night or guaranteed on Saturdays. I had a little bit of an internet issue at my house, and obviously with the length of our podcast, it had for some reason, even with a 4G LTE phone, it would not upload anywhere. Regardless, I was literally waiting an hour, and the stuff just wouldn't load through. So I've got internet coming tomorrow morning, and I will end up dropping episodes 1 and 2 together. So you can plan on there being a video probably, we'll just say Saturday, just to give us a little bit of editing time. But Saturdays for sure.
Can't rush perfection.
Yeah. And we're just, again, still starting up on this. This is only episode 2. So
we're learning as we go.
Yeah, so I'll have that handled tomorrow. So that'll be nice.
All right, so I got a question.
Yes.
How'd you like the games this week? I'll start with the one that you're not expecting. How did you like the national title game between Alabama and Ohio State?
Are you gonna kill me if I have to tell you that I feel like you're gonna have to hold me on the sports again? Because I'm pretty sure.
I got a notepad right here.
Yeah.
Every mistake.
Every mistake. Our Super Bowl picks are off the rails.
Hey, double shout out to Josh Keenan, who predicted not only the national finals champion.
So Bama crushed them.
Yeah,
I'm taking it. Yeah, I figured Bama was gonna crush Ohio State, but it just.
He gave me a play-by-play.
Did he? Oh yeah, he did.
Bless his heart. He gave me a play-by-play for every football game last week.
The yeah. Yeah, I heard some things.
He predicted all
Did
of
he?
the winners last week. Every single one. We might have to do a segment about the Gray Bush's picks.
But of course, the funny thing is, if he would have put any money on any of those picks, all of those teams would have lost.
That's how it goes.
That's how it be. So
when you have nothing to lose, you win everything. When you have everything to lose, you lose everything.
I was pretty sure that Alabama was gonna crush them, so I guess I kind of figured that would happen. But
it was a fun game, really fun game to watch.
Yeah,
like I enjoyed.
What was I doing this weekend? Why wasn't I watching football? I had side work.
Yeah, you worked.
I was working on the
like
weekends.
9.
Yeah, I worked like 10 or 12 hours on a side job. So I was, my weekend was spent because I spent a whole day working. So the next day I just was like crushed out.
Well, what I can say is that both teams had a really good showing, despite the fact that Ohio State did not like I'd say amount to the same amount. Well, did not make a run in the second half of the game.
How did Fields do?
Fields,
quarterback, Justin Fields, right?
Yeah, for Ohio State, he was playing with some hurt ribs.
Oh, he wasn't really.
He was doing awesome for a player that was out there hurt. They had another player out there being hurt on on Alabama, Waddles.
So he was awesome for being hurt.
Though. Yeah, well, he was awesome, but he was hurt.
Right.
I don't think he was awesome for being hurt. I think he played a really good game, and it was unfortunate that the game that held all the marbles was a game that he couldn't be 100% for, even though he was trying. He really was making a super effort out there, and I just think that once it got to the second half of the game, Alabama took it and ran. They ended up losing their Heisman winner. I believe it was in the second half or before the second half. That he wasn't there for the rest of the game, but he was killing it.
Yeah.
I
heard
he earned it.
I heard fun fact, which I'm not 100% that it's true, but I'm pretty sure the source that I heard from was a pretty reliable one. Every single recruit that Nick Saban has recruited since he's been at Alabama, I'm not talking about the MSU years, every single recruit that he has recruited since he's been at Alabama has won a national title.
Them's good stats.
Within the time frame that they're there. Now, obviously, some of them win at their first year, some of them win at their second year, some third, some fourth. I don't know how many times he has a fifth year on the team. He might have one here and there. But regardless, to this point, if Nick Saban recruits you, within your tenure, if you choose to stay, you will be a national champion, right? That's the stats right now that I heard.
Nick Saban, if you're out there, please make me a kicker.
Recruit your boy. I could double leg something.
I have no experience kicking anything except for my foot into the wall when I stub it, but based on the ferocity that I kicked the second time, I'd say that it's more powerful than the first.
And I want to be a champion.
Yeah,
I want to be a champion.
I'd love to be a champion.
Yeah, so
other recaps this week. So the Bills versus the Colts. The Bills ended up winning 27-24.
Ooh, close game.
Yeah, Josh Allen put on a good performance. He put on a good performance.
And he
beat Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers?
Yeah, you know, I have some talk.
I was out here talking hot like Phillip was about to be out here. Man, looking.
You weren't in the wrong, honestly. Like Phillip Rivers,
said he was gonna put the team on his back.
He went. I don't think that the. I think for as much leeway as they gave him as the quarterback, they definitely tried putting the team on other players' backs. Most specifically, their running back Taylor. I couldn't help but to notice that when it really mattered, they kept putting Taylor out there, and his success percentage deteriorated. If you got a person like Phillip Rivers out there, you got someone that really wants it. You got someone that he said in his post-game interview, he was like, "I believed this was our year." When you have someone that genuinely believes it's their year and they're a veteran, you gotta give them the game a little bit. And
well, you do, and I think that, and I'm just guessing based on like what you're saying is, but you got to understand that he's Phillip Rivers, and you can put the team on his back, but it's not the same thing as putting the team on a 23-year-old quarterback's back. He can do amazing things, but his tank is going to run dry, and you need to give him ample things around him to be able to sustain that greatness, because he is great.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with probably Favre. If you took Favre off the couch right now, he could give you probably 2 quarters of absolute greatness, but once it got to quarter 3 and fatigue, then he'd get worse, and fourth quarter he might get worse or something like that, and I might be biting off my own tongue by saying something like that, but you get the analogy, you know what I mean? Like, so I think that they probably didn't do enough around him to space out him leading the game.
Yeah, they didn't use him like you would use a veteran quarterback. Like they weren't using what was between his ears enough.
They were trying to use his physical ability too much.
Like, and then they're banking off the fact that they have like such an ample running back game, like behind Taylor. Like they're boasting him the whole entire pre-game setup of, oh, Taylor's gonna do this, Taylor's gonna do that, and then it kind of I could understand from a team perspective someone telling me, oh, that guy got it, and you being on the sideline, you're like, okay, well, when push comes to shove, that guy got it, and when that guy doesn't have it,
messes the whole mentality up.
You're gonna start like being like, oh my god, like I don't know if we're gonna win this game because he's not playing to the caliber that we boasted.
Meanwhile, if you would have prepared yourself to be a number 1 option or to have a higher role, you could have already mentally went through that.
You could have filled
and
the
accepted that role, but you took a secondary approach, thinking that you didn't need to be a lead role. So it kind of messes the mentality up.
And Josh Allen, he played a really awesome game. Not just Josh Allen, but Josh Allen and the Bills played an awesome game. I believe Josh Allen even had a rushing touchdown.
Nice.
Like passing touchdowns, I don't have the note right here, but he worked a lot of his receivers. You can see that he actually analyzed his team and he was using them to their best ability, and then he used his he used this physicality as a kind of a mobile quarterback, someone that can get out of the pocket as a flex. Like he was in the pocket until they needed him out, until the opposite team decided to change up the game plan and to rush the pocket. And then his team, they set him up. They were like, okay, well, let's move all the players here that are rushing us, and Allen's gonna do I think it's called a shovel route.
Yeah.
Do a shovel right out there and run the sideline and not get hurt. Like he was making safe, conscious running decisions, and he has the wheels for it.
Nice.
So I think honestly the game could have went either way, but the fact that the Bills looked more prepared definitely played a huger factor in it.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that I put my shoe in my mouth last week in saying that the Seahawks were going to beat the Rams. I completely forgot that I had 2 weeks earlier watched Goff realign his thumb that was broken in the middle of the game. So at the start of the game of the Rams and the Seahawks, which ended with the Seahawks losing, I believe it was 30-20.
Okay.
Yeah, 30-20. I was hyped. I was really hyped. I was like, Wilson's going to do it. Wilson's going to clench it. And they ripped the second string quarterback's head off, the Rams quarterback's head off.
Yeah.
And who do I see waltz out on the field? Old masterclass Goff walks out there, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the...
It's like Jared Goff isn't that old.
I'm saying masterclass is in like his ability.
Got you.
Yeah, the dude that just did this Herculean feat of, I broke my thumb, let's keep playing. Like, he walks out there, and I hope the secondary quarterback's neck's okay, because they had to cart him off. Well, they had to send him in an ambulance with a cone, but he goes out there and he starts working the field. Like he's not injured. He has 12 splints in his thumb right now. Like,
still throwing the ball well?
Yes, still throwing the ball well. He doesn't look like he ever had a problem. Like, and they took it to the Seahawks. Like,
nice. Yeah, I didn't expect. I don't know what my take was on that game, to be honest.
I think we both said the Seahawks were going to...
Probably because of Wilson. Yeah, that makes sense.
We completely forgot the opposition's...
I just haven't had
power players.
Yeah, I'm a little behind on my sports as of, like I said, as of late. Just because of the COVID and everything made this year definitely different than previous
Made
years.
it harder.
Yeah.
Even though you're at home, it made it harder to access sports.
Yeah, it wasn't really... Didn't hit home.
How did you feel about Washington almost taking it to the Bucks?
Tom Brady won?
Yeah.
Man, I feel...
31-27. I
feel immediately disappointed because I wanted Tom Brady to lose instantly.
I thought that the comeback story of the year quarterback. I'm really trying to think of his name. I feel terrible, but let me look right here. Yeah, they did not have their quarterback out for the Washington Redskins. Like they didn't have that comeback quarterback.
Washington football team.
Yes, Washington football team. Yeah, they didn't have the guy I was hyping back. Yeah. He didn't play in the game. Their secondary quarterback was playing a really awesome game, but they were playing against a full and healthy Buccaneers team.
Okay.
So
yeah, no, I'm disappointed. I definitely wanted Tom Brady to lose for sure.
But there's always next round.
Yeah. Yep. He can always lose next round. That's right.
The Ravens versus the Titans.
I had the Ravens winning that,
and I believe the Ravens would definitely.
Solid. What was the end score on that?
It ended up being 20-13.
Nice. Oh, all these games are close.
Yeah.
A lot of these games sound too close.
It was a really close game.
Too close for first round.
Yeah, but they're wild cards. They're all wild cards.
Oh, okay.
And last week was wild card week, so
Got you.
It's a given that something wild can happen.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I watched a bit of the Ravens game. I thought Lamar Jackson was gonna put on a whole entire show and blow him out, but no,
didn't do it.
Kept it close, kept it interesting. I'd like
maybe he's keeping some reserve too. Maybe, I mean, we don't know.
Yeah,
but maybe he's holding a little bit in the tank, knowing that he can beat someone like the Titans right now and saving it for somebody that might be a little bit more difficult down the road.
Yeah, maybe letting this team play a little bit more than himself.
Right.
The next game was the Saints versus the Bears. And if I might add, this is one of our notes right here. It is a moment in history. Nickelodeon's first time hosting a game.
Nickelodeon hosted the game?
Yeah, Nickelodeon hosted the Saints versus the Bears.
Like, commentaried it?
They had SpongeBob there. SpongeBob, when someone scored a touchdown, there's some slime.
On the screen?
It was CGI effects.
Oh, no.
When someone kicked the field goal, it was like, kick in the middle of SpongeBob in his face. And they had Alvin Kamara right next to Alvin and the Chipmunks, and their stats next to each other. It's like, member of
stats?
I know, right? It was like hits. It was like hit singles. Member of the Chipmunks. Lives with, I think Jim's the dude, where that's Garfield's owner, but it was like, it had that, and then right next to it had Alvin Kamara, all like, it had his rushing, his touchdowns.
Stats.
Yeah, it was goofy. It was really funny.
Oh dear God!
And I believe it was the first curse word aired on Nickelodeon. I'm not sure what was said, but I think someone mouthed a curse word. And it was fine. It's football. It's a passionate sport. But the Saints beat the Bears 21-9.
I think we both expect the Saints to win that.
Yeah.
I am, side note, highly disappointed with this Nickelodeon hosting. Highly disappointed with the NFL doing that, because that even more plays in to partially out something we touched on last week, which I'm sure that'll happen every week when we're talking about topics, just because, that's just how things go. But last week we had a partial conversation about the softness around football now, and how I prefer it to be a more physical sport, and I feel like it's becoming more soft. This proves it. You've got, and let's be clear, the only really cartoon we really watched in our house was kind of SpongeBob because I was the one that my dad liked. So
And giggle with us.
yeah, so if he didn't like to watch it, that's not really what was going to be on TV. So yeah, like SpongeBob was one of my favorite cartoons of all time. Period. But I don't ever want to see him somewhere where grown men are supposed to be colliding and there's supposed to be football being played. Like that's making the sport even more rounded edges, like making it more soft. And and that might also be part of the reason why I'm further and further away from football, because I used to feel that connection with football and feel the understanding and feel like I knew what was going on in the players' heads and knew what they're going through. And now I haven't been out of high school I've been out of high school for less than 10 years, and I feel like the game I played is not the same game they play.
There's a little bit of a disconnect there.
Extreme disconnect. So I don't know. That's, like I said, it's just a little bit of a side note. I don't prefer that cookie cutter aspect of it. I'd like it to go back to football.
Okay. I will, not that I'm on the side, but I will argue the opposition and a little bit of a light tone of that. I saw on Twitter there is a proud dad out there he took a picture of his son, and the son, I don't understand why he looked over the age of 16, but he was like Nickelodeon's hosting football. This is the first time that my son has sat down and watched a football game. So, maybe,
and that's cool. That is cool.
It's nice that a dad was able to experience that moment with the son. Our dad never really had any. He never had any conflict with us being interested in watching sports or anything. Like it was, if you watch sports, you watch sports, and I was always interested in at least UFC.
Yeah.
To where like I could watch a sport with my dad, but I realized that it probably I wouldn't say sucks, but it'd be a little bit of a bummer not to be able to share something you're passionate about.
Yeah, okay, and yes, that is a cool moment, and I'm not trying to step on that by any means.
But it should not change the sport.
All I'm saying is they can have that another way. Like you're almost in a way trying to force a person that might necessarily not want to be about football into football just because they're trying to find that quote unquote moment. They could have that moment if the parent decided that they wanted to be into insert whatever the kid's into, you know what I mean, rather than it being a forced interest, because that kid might do that and he might still never like football. I don't know, that
a kid shouldn't get into karate because you watch Shaolin Showdown.
I mean, you shouldn't get into anything just because you want to do it with you should get into something because you like it, and then people around you should do it with you because you know what I mean, because they like it and you can do it together. Like the same way that me, you, and Dad all disc. We all love disc golf enough to do it separately. I was even thinking about doing a tournament in the next weekend or two, possibly. I have to see what the dates are. I might have a service that I have to attend. If it's on that date, then obviously I won't be doing it because family things and friend things happen first and foremost. But if the service is not on the same day as the tournament, I think I'll be entering. So that's just another side note. But what I'm getting at is we all like that sport enough to go do it separately, so we can all share that love and interest together. Yeah. As opposed to it being like, hey Jake, as opposed to putting a carrot with a plunger and a string.
It's like, hey, you want to hang out? You want to hang out Saturday?
It's like, hey, it's like I said, as opposed to it's like Dad saying, hey, I'm gonna stick a sticky note picture of Conor McGregor face kicking this guy out here. If you come out and play disc golf with us, it's like, okay, are you out here because you love playing disc golf and enjoying it with two of us, or are you out here because you're getting treated with this picture of UFC? You know what I mean? So
someone's accommodating.
It's not the same thing. Event. You're getting treated to be my friend as opposed to enjoying the thing with me.
Yeah, so. I get that. Couple side notes that we kind of glimpsed over. The Bills. I'm gonna say this right now. The there will always be officiating calls that could change history, and there will always be an asterisk next to like, oh, someone saw this differently, whatever. Like this could have been a big deal. I really thought that the Bills were going to have history taken away from them by a ref. There was a fumble call that the Bills didn't go in the Bills' favor, and
they almost lost.
Yeah, they almost lost. So right now, here's a couple shout outs just that we glanced over. Shout out to the Bills. It's their first season since 1995 that they won the AFC East.
Hey, shout out to the Bills.
Yeah.
Guys, shout them out. That's awesome.
And we're on to
right here
the Browns and the Steelers. First of all,
we thought the Steelers were going to win that.
Really?
But I thought the Steelers were going to crush.
Gonna mush faces.
I thought it was going to be a stiff finger to the chest. Yeah, I thought
Juju Smith went out on a limb before the Steelers game, and he jinxed the whole. Well, I'm not gonna say it's his fault that the Steelers lost, but if there is any power or any like outside realm sources, like
him plus us jinxed them.
Yeah, I ain't gonna take that. I ain't from Pittsburgh. I ain't from Cleveland. I don't give a damn who wins. But Juju Smith-Schuster decided to before the game say something along the lines of the Browns are a decent team, but the Browns are still the Browns and the Steelers are still the Steelers, and there will never be a day where the Browns can beat the Steelers.
And
the day had came.
The day came immediately.
The day it came. Thank you to Juju Smith-Schuster for making history. The Browns' first playoff win in 26 years.
Dude, I'm 26 on the board
since the AFC-NFC merger.
Holy shit.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick was with the Patriots when the Browns...
was with the Bills, you mean?
Was with the Bills. And it was their first game...
Was it with the Bills or with the Browns?
It was one.
He was with like 2 or 3 teams.
Actually, no. I think Bill Belichick was with the Browns beating the Patriots.
Dude,
ironically.
How? Okay, can I ask? Can I get the score?
Yeah, it is 48-37.
48-37.
Yeah,
okay.
48-37.
Okay,
it's not a crazy thing, but it's not a crazy blowout.
Juju got lucky that it wasn't like 48 to like 17.
He gave him their props at the end. He did. He gave him the props, but I think he kind of had to. Well, he had to show face after saying that. You're not going to be like...
you can't be like, there'll never be a day when you beat me, and then
the day is came.
30 minutes later I get beat. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good luck to the Browns. That's awesome.
Good luck to them in their further ventures. Right before we're doing picks, I have a little bit of a fun question to ask. So, while watching the games on this prior weekend, I noticed a trend of football players being in funny commercials.
Okay.
And I would like to ask you, who's your favorite football star? And it can be playing active or inactive right now.
Okay.
To be featured in a commercial. Would you like me to name off a couple of the ones I wrote down? Because
sure.
You have Deion Sanders in Subway.
That one doesn't really hit it for me.
There was a very funny one where he got his sub in a limo, and he was at every point in the limo. And at the back, he was driving it. He got the sub in the side. He got the sub in the back seat, and it was a stretch limo with a hot tub, and he was eating the sub in the hot tub. There's Peyton Manning with Allstate.
The Peyton Manning ones are kind of funny.
There's Baker and Progressive.
Those ones are also kind of funny.
There are Rodgers and Mahomes and State Farm commercials.
Aaron's got some good ones.
You can't forget the double check.
Yeah.
There's Mahomes and Palomalu and Head and Shoulders.
Okay.
Shout out to the hair crew.
Okay.
There's Tom Ice, the first Latin American football coach. I think he's the first quarterback and the first quarterback to turn football coach and the first Latin American football coach in history.
Yeah.
And he's in a Coors Light commercial.
Yep.
saying he don't give a damn if he's in the Hall of Fame because he's cool.
Yeah.
He's drinking.
Oh, nope. I know which one is my favorite one.
2 more.
Go ahead.
Prescott and Sleep Number.
Okay.
Because he can't do shit now. And then...
Because he can't do shit now.
And then there's The Night Before with Totino's. I'm not even gonna say all. There's Brady.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
Gronk. There's
everybody done Totino's.
There's Marshawn reading. There's not that's different, but I've never seen him read. I've always seen him stoke his hell.
Marshawn gonna fuck you up when he sees you. If he ever sees you.
I love you, Marshawn.
That's funny.
I'm here so I don't get sued.
I know which one's my favorite.
Okay.
He's one of the new court. Not Patrick Mahomes. What's his name? Kyler Murray, right? He's another new one.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has one. I don't know who he does it for though. You might have to. I think it's an insurance one. No, it's. You know what I think it is? I think it's it might be the State Farm Hall of Fame house or whatever they do. You know what I'm talking about with the MVP people?
Oh yeah, go.
No, the one where he's in the car and he's talking about having to like predict the coverages and stuff, and they're driving. And he's like, "What? This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen." He's like talking about like all the things that as they're driving. He's like, "Yeah, I gotta predict everything." He's like, "You gonna answer that?" And he was like, "What?" And it's like mom's caller, so it was like, "Tell her I said hi. Tell her I said yes. Hang up." And then he's just like answering every call that's going on. Literally, like they're like in the middle of driving. He's like, "Turn left. Watch out for that. Turn out. Watch out for this. Hey, you're gonna answer that? Tell her you said you'll be there in a minute." Like something like that. It was pretty funny. I think that's the one that's sticking to my head the most.
That's
right
good.
Now. It's pretty funny.
And there's also a Marshawn Lynch Subway commercial. I don't want to. He double protein. Double protein. He shows up in a wheel and he just rolls himself there. He's like double protein bowl.
Oh, that's a recent one then.
Yeah, that's a new.
Marshawn's funny.
I will say that probably my favorite one so far, the one that made me chuckle the most, would probably be the Coors Light.
Coors Light one.
Because it gave me some insight to history and then like just the coolness of this old man that has so much behind him, like so much history behind him, and
he's like,
he's like, I don't give a damn if I'm in the Hall of Fame. I want to make it.
Right.
Like they're.
Oh, you know what? It's another one that comes up to mind, which we used to kind of hate on this player too. Romo and the Coronas.
Oh, Romo.
I like that commercial it does where it's like, when you won Hall of Fame by pressing random, and that guy like looks like a twerp, and he's like, but it still counts though, I picked the players. Like,
I honestly, I like Romo better as a
TV
person.
Yeah, I do too.
It might just be because
because fuck Cowboys. Yeah,
because I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
To our next segment, our brackets. Our brackets so far. So, like last time, we'll give you 2 teams. We'll give me your take. I'll follow up with how I feel, and we'll work from there.
Okay.
So, the Bills versus the Ravens.
Dude. I'm still going to go with the Ravens. I'm still going to go with the Ravens. I still feel like Lamar's got to have himself a breakout. Not like he hasn't had breakout performances before, but I think he's due for one in the playoffs. And I just feel like the Ravens are going to do it.
And I have a little bit of a treat for us, too. I will say the Ravens are going to win.
Okay.
The Ravens are going to win. And just because he got all the games right, I did ask our dad what was his take.
So what is the Silverback Gorillas' take on the picks? That's what we'll call it this segment. This segment will be called the Silverbacks Takes.
The Silverbacks Takes. I like it. So our father, the Silverback, the Metallic Fiend, the man of many monikers, has decided that the Ravens are going to win 28-21.
28-21.
He says it's going to be a close game. There is a 3-point spread.
Okay.
I believe in the Bills' favor.
Okay.
But he says the Ravens are going to win. I'll write it down right now.
So we got 3 Keenans going for the Ravens here.
Ravens 28-21 over the Bills.
And that's That's the Silverback take.
Yeah, the Silverbacks take.
Okay.
Next up, the Browns versus Mahomes Chiefs.
I'm gonna go. Oh man.
I believe there's a 7-point spread.
In Mahomes' favor, of course.
Of course, yeah.
I'm gonna go with the spread. I'm going Mahomes. I'm going Mahomes on that, and I'm gonna say that they're gonna win by more than 2 touchdowns.
More than 2 touchdowns.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be more than 2 touchdowns.
I think that I do think that the Mahomes is gonna win.
Okay.
But I'm with our father on this one. He said that it's going to be a mildly high-scoring game, but he believes Mahomes is only going to win by 3 points.
Okay, so a close game.
If I can remember correctly, it was 24...
24-27? 24-21?
Yeah, 24-21.
Okay.
Because he said that Baker was really... He played like he wanted it.
Right.
He definitely...
I just don't think he's... like I said what I said. I think it's going to be a 2 touchdown.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I believe in a 2 touchdown game. Next up is the Saints versus the Bucks.
All right. Here's the deal here.
The battle of the old men. The
Here's the
broken
deal
back.
Here's the deal here. I hate Tom Brady. But if I was going to put money on it based on last week and just trying to think on how I feel with my gut, because a lot of this isn't going off of me watching, clearly, because I didn't watch the last couple weeks, I would have to say that my gut says that the Buccaneers win that game. I think it's going to be a veteran quarterback shootout.
I think that even though it will be the battle of the minds between 2 quarterbacks that have been in the league for way over, I think, is it 30? I'm not gonna put a time.
A while.
But I think that the Saints might squeak by 3 points. But the gray bushes, the gray take, or Silverback's take, is he believes the Bucks are gonna win by 2 touchdowns, 35-21.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of feel like the Bucks are gonna win that. Yep.
And last, but certainly not least, the Rams versus Green Bay. Our mom's Packers versus the LA Rams.
I'm going Pack Attack all day. I'm going Pack Attack. I think the Cheeseheads take that. I think they win by 10.
Win by 10. Now this one I'm gonna have to really dive down and remember what our dad said. I know exactly who he has, but I believe he was on a 10-point spread too.
Really?
Yeah, I think you guys are right next to each other. I'm under the belief that the Rams are gonna put on a great game, but they're only gonna win by 3 points.
You think the Rams are gonna win?
Yeah, by 3.
Ooh, you're the lone one on that one. Okay.
Only 3 points because it's the Packers. I'm not gonna put a value in there, but I believe our father said that they're gonna be 31-21.
Okay.
So there's a lot of no team should get under 21 this week.
Is what he's feeling.
Yeah, is what he's feeling. We checked Yahoo Sports. Shout out to Yahoo Sports for the spreads because that's where he gets most of his information for it.
Got you.
But 21, broken pencil.
That's highly disappointing.
I hate
It's frustrating.
231. And those are our takes.
Okay.
But if you have any takes, definitely shout them out. And also for the commercial thing, I'd really be interested in any of the commercials that we missed, any players that we missed on commercials that are definitely funny. We can re-dive into that archive and talk about them later on.
Yeah.
If you have any other takes on these games, or maybe if we're forgetting some critical players, feel free to shout them out.
Yeah, drop it in the comments, and we'll definitely check it out and try to use some of that as insight for our future stuff.
Alrighty, time for blues news that makes me a little sad.
Okay.
It does make me sad.
Okay.
But, look at him. We're talking about Donald Trump's
Oh,
media
man.
bans.
It's your boy.
He got.
Oh man, it's your boy. Young orange face.
So if you're not privy to the news, people just don't want him to live on any platform.
He got impeached too.
Yeah, he's a peach.
Yeah, he's a peach.
He's a Georgia
This
peach.
is the second time he's been impeached.
But this is the first
There was-
time it was accepted.
There was
by
an
Mike Pence,
there
I
was
think.
an importance. No, I think it got like accepted sort of or something like that the first time. But like I think this time I could be wrong, but I thought like this time it was more of like so that way like if they got him out of there, he doesn't get any of the benefits that ex-presidents get. Not that he'll need it because he's got so much fucking money and he's got so much money and so much influence and whatever on his own. But like we pay for like ex-presidents' housing. We also pay for
we give
security details, stuff like that.
We give them a salary cap until the end of their life. They have the means to live because honestly, the way I always saw it is that after having a job like that, you're almost you're almost overprepared. Well, overqualified for anything because I don't want to see a president working a mire.
That's fair.
Like, at least we give you the respect to like,
That's
hey man,
fair. So yeah, I guess he doesn't get any of that, which like I said, he doesn't care.
He probably can tell him to eat it.
Yeah, but yeah,
yeah, he has a mass ban. It started with Twitter, and I'm gonna go through this stuff. I'm gonna go through it because I just think it's funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So
first I hear about
he's banned from little plug. Plug walk. Hey. So he's banned from Reddit. So if he really anything Reddit Donald Trump is no longer available.
If you post something about it, it deletes your stuff too, or just anything that he personally does.
So Reddit has banned the group Donald Trump. So anything that is the group of Donald Trump on Reddit is banned.
Okay.
So anything that promotes him, anything with the context of Donald Trump will be taken down.
Anything with the context of Donald Trump. So yeah, if you're posting things,
it's not going to be there.
That's hilarious.
They don't like it. He can no longer stream video games. He is banned from Twitch. He is disabled.
Did he ever stream video games?
No, I think he streamed some speeches on for his president. He is banned. He is banned from Twitch prevents him from being used to incite further violence.
Oh my goodness!
To protect the community.
They're saying that he is the reason that people stormed the Capitol or something like that.
And apparently,
or he was nudging people to do it or something.
Yeah, so
that's what I was hearing.
Nudging people against the BLM movement. So
it's.
I don't know how much, how direct he was.
It's just funny. It's just hilarious.
He is banned from Shopify.
Shopify.
So he can no
online stores
affiliated with Trump. His organization and his campaign's merchandise are no longer there. For violating policies for supporting violence. So
he can't sell his hats and stuff.
No more hats, no more shirts, no more
Great.
coasters.
Now they're going to be in front of the Capitol selling that stuff like they were last month.
I think Donald Trump's Supreme gear is getting pulled.
Oh, man.
Of course, he's banned from Twitter. He's not
easy.
Yeah, he's banned from Twitter permanently, effective immediately.
Permanently? You can't ever be on Twitter again? Dude, this is great.
He can't be on it. He's for incitement of violence.
And me laughing does not mean that I think that he should
It's
be on it. It's just funny.
The audacity
funny to me.
of the systematic removal of a person.
It's just funny. To me.
I'm
not saying.
I have a question after this that I'll ask. Any Trump supporters out there will definitely appreciate this question.
God,
I'm not that I'm a
funny.
Trump supporter, but I support equality amongst everybody. I don't.
It's hilarious.
He's a person. He's a person that does things. People mess up from time to time, and sometimes when you mess up bad. Google has pulled Parler, a social media app that for conservatives and far right extremists. So So a place where people that might sympathize with his ideas has been pulled from the Google Play Store.
You don't even get to have a squad. Your squad don't even get to have a spot. That's crazy.
You've been shadow banned, as they call it, where if someone looks you up, they will no longer find you. If there's 1,000,001 searches, you are at the bottom of the. You're at the E of Google. Remember when Google had all the O's? You were at the E.
You were at the E.
Google's movement.
At the E. Oh my god!
Immediate suspension, going further than Apple's earlier decision to remove it from the App Store, unless the content submits moderate plans. So Google doesn't like it more than Apple. YouTube. So anything that YouTube is accelerating enforcement of the election misinformation, voter fraud claims that Donald Trump and other channels have produced. So anything that is Donald Trump supporting, or that's his account directly, or that alludes to any sort of manipulation,
get him out of there. Get him out of there.
He's out of there.
Get him out of there.
Facebook banned Donald Trump from posting on his account, so he's no longer booking it with the face.
He's gone from everywhere.
We believe in a statement from Facebook. Well, Facebook's CEO Mark Zuckerberg. With the Zuck.
With the Zuck.
We believe the risks of allowing the president to continue to use our servers during this period are simply too great. Hey, that is welly put.
Yeah, he wrote that well.
He's not waving a finger at him, but he's like,
it's just too much for me.
He's like the guy next to the crazy guy that steps away.
Yeah, so
he's like, I'm not. I know you're saying crazy stuff, but I don't want us to be next to each other.
I'm not really feeling you. Not feeling the vibes.
Facebook did remove
he
removed videos from all videos of Donald Trump.
Oh my goodness!
Well,
no yacht
they're
photos.
trying to. Instagram banned Donald Trump for at least the next 2 weeks. They're being very nice.
Oh, okay. Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same. So he's banned from Facebook, but Instagram, the more popular, more important one.
So on Wednesday, Instagram's parent, Facebook, did remove the video of Trump posted addressing the violence without fully condemning it. So
hit him with another one. What's the other one he's banned from, Jake? Another one. Give me another one.
Snapchat. He can no longer get happy birthdays, Valentine's Days.
All them filters.
Hanukkahs.
Get him out. You got another one, Jake? We got another one?
Yeah. So his Snapchat has been disabled Wednesday because it believes the account promotes and spreads hate and entices violence, as the spokesperson said. We can confirm earlier today that we locked President Trump's Snapchat account. They're proud.
No sneaky DMs on there.
No sneaky.
Give me another one.
Another TikTok. One. He tried to ban TikTok.
Yeah, he tried to ban TikTok.
I get that.
So we don't even matter.
TikTok.
Who gives a fuck about that?
The hashtag Storm the Capitol, Patriot Party are all.
Oh yeah, you scum.
Are all being redirected towards hateful speech and all that stuff. Apple. So Apple did suspend a lot of his stuff that conjoins him. Discord. So that is an online gaming chat thing where people can come together and have like a community to play on platforms. Like I do League of Legends. There's D&D dice roll stuff. Okay. If you are part of any sort of community that just wants to talk online or crap post in a server and just see what's up with like-minded individuals, you can't do it no more.
Probably never did.
Yeah, Discord has banned the server Donald Trump. Jeez. So Discord allocates you a whole entire server for a thing. So like, it's a big deal.
Right.
Pinterest.
No more food pics.
No more DIYs, crafting.
Every single looks Donald like Trump that birdhouse he wanted to get done just ain't getting done, son.
Yeah, the Trump charm bracelets.
None of that. Get him out of here.
Amazon. Amazon has ceased selling a lot of Trump stuff. Not a ban.
I think these other ones might be a little bit like.
Yeah, there's Otaka, and that'll be about it. But
gone.
So the question that I want to ask you is: this taking away his freedom of speech? I mean, we are allowed.
Okay,
we are
here's what I'll say
allowed
about
to
this.
have.
I've actually thought about this conversation a lot. And here is my reason for saying no.
Okay.
This is my reasoning for saying no. These things we're not taking his freedom of speech. No one is saying that if he goes outside and says whatever he wants.
Okay.
No one is saying that if he if he pays for his own, he can go right now and go rent out a building. Well, maybe not now because of COVID, but whatever. He can go to Texas right now, rent out a building like Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan are doing, get 400 people tested, pay for his own stage, pay for his own lighting, and say whatever he wants, and nobody could legally do anything to him. Maybe people would riot because of whatever, but that he could do that still.
Yeah.
This is why I consider it not taking away his freedom of speech, because those platforms were created. They were created and they are their own separate entities. So I feel like, regardless of how I would feel about it, because I am taking myself out of it and my personal feelings towards him, whether that is good or bad, not gonna say one way or the other, but taking that out of it and just thinking of it from one human to another, I understand where someone would think that you are taking their freedom of speech, but you're not. Because if I create this right here, if I create this note card, this is my note card, I'm just theoretically.
Yeah.
If I create this note card and I say, all right, I don't mind me and you writing notes on here, and you write something on here that I don't agree with or I feel is outlandish, if this is my note card, then I should have the right to delete that off of my note card because it's mine. I created this note card and I told you that you could use it. So as unfortunate and as toddler as it's going to sound with it being like, this is mine, I don't feel like sharing it anymore, that is the fact of the matter. This is my thing. I allowed you to use said thing, and I feel like you didn't use it the right way.
Okay.
So yes, my personal morals come into play, and yes, it makes me it isn't good for the argument of like, who are you? Why do you get to say? Well, my answer to that is the reason I get to say is because I made it. And if it wasn't made like that, if these platforms were just entities that came down from the sky,
Yeah, if they were made when we
did the declaration. Yeah, if they were made way back then I'd be my stance would be different, because it's like, oh, these things have been here. This is what we use for communication. This is what we've always used for communication. That's why I'm saying if he wanted to go, you can go right now to the park and go say whatever racist stuff you want to say. Now you go do that in the hood, you might catch an ass whooping, but you can go legally say that, and there's nothing anybody can do about it because that's
twisted tea.
Yeah, but you can, but you can legally go do that, and there's nothing anybody can do to you. Now, if I go make my own DSP tonight called Trevor's Platform, and you go start saying some racist stuff on there, I should be allowed to delete that off of my platform.
Yeah.
That's my personal feeling on why I don't think that it is. I can understand why people will think that it is a taking away somebody's right to freedom of speech, but like I said, my counter argument to that is these things were created by somebody. If I don't want you to use the chair that I created, I should be able to take my chair away. So why is it any different with an app?
Yeah, what I'm hearing here, and maybe I can rephrase it into another way, is like the fact that you created something is not only your responsibility, but it is your individual right to parent what you created.
It does make you the king of that world. I'm not saying,
but everyone gets to choose whether or not they live in the castle.
Yeah, if you don't want to live in the village that I created, sick. Then you live outside.
Yeah, if I created if I create an all Christian chat channel and someone starts posting about Beelzebub, I'm allowed to pull the plug. I'm allowed to be like, hey man, that's not what this is for.
Yeah, not saying you can go stand right outside and yell whatever you want from the outside, and I'm cool with that. But the narrative you're saying, whenever you're in this spot that I created, these are the rules and these are the morals that I want you to follow, or a guideline I'd like you to be about. And yes, it is personal. It is based on things that I believe are right. But guess what? You're the one asking to come onto my thing. I'm not coming onto yours. You know what I mean?
I'm not forcing my way onto your platform.
Yeah, and I'm not forcing you to use Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, insert whatever you want to say. I'm not forcing you to use those things. You're choosing to use those. So if you want to use my toy and I give you rules on how to use it and you break one of those rules, it's just simple to me. I get to take my toy away. Like, you don't, I told you could borrow my pen. You just broke the lead. Give me my pencil back. Why? Because you broke it. You know what I mean? Like, there shouldn't be a full, it shouldn't be a big problem.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an argument whether or not you're taking away.
Now, if they say he can no longer public speak, I would have an issue with that because he is allowed to do that. Yeah, if he's not breaking any laws, he's allowed to publicly speak.
That's what separates us from a place that completely has a totalitarian aspect, a totalitarian media thought mentality where it's like, hey, we want to control everything that's put to you.
And the same, like I said, all the way down to like, if he wanted to go, and there's been presidents and people that have been rich enough to do so, if he wanted to go buy a time slot on national television, if he wanted to buy Channel 6's time slot from 7 to 7 the next day for 24 hours and yell and say whatever he wants to on it, he could do that because he paid for it and he's not doing anything wrong, like I said. But if you're using my thing and I decide I don't like what you're saying, then don't use it.
See you, friends. We'll grab something real quick. And awesome. Sorry about that. I had to make sure the equipment was working. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. That's the stance I was taking, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that probably have a different perspective of like how the media platform should be used and whether, and you know, I don't want to say this being rude or their own idea of what's appropriate for a media platform or what their responsibility is to it as a person that subscribes or like participates in it, like, but at the end of the day, there are set rules and clauses that you have to follow when you sign up for a website. I know that at first when I got on Facebook, you had to like check some boxes, what's private, all that stuff, and there's a code of conduct for every one of those sites. Hey, that's so many words, I'm not going to read it. And I'm sure in every one of those websites
they have one of those.
Yeah, they have.
And it really boils down to, and again, it's going to sound snarky, it's going to sound crappy, and in no means do I say this with like a snarkiness saying like I could do this. But if you don't like their platform, then you should go create your own DSP and your own app and go handle your own servers and go make your own company and then tell me exactly how you feel when somebody says something you don't want on that platform. You tell me.
Or promote something.
And hey, if you make a $1 billion platform, you know what I mean? And somebody says something you don't agree with, you think is absolutely outlandish and you just can't stand for it and you do nothing about it, then I'll applaud you 100% and I'll take back my stance because clearly there'll be somebody that's proven me wrong. But until that point, I just don't see that being the case. If I make it and you break it, I've got a problem with it. You don't get to use it no more. And that's really what it boils down to me. So if you don't like it, go make your own.
And if you have another opinion, obviously speak on it in our comment section.
Yeah, speak on it. Let me know.
I will go through our comment section and look at a majority of...
You probably won't reply though. It's not a good trait to reply.
Yeah, it's not anyway. I'm not a huge replier person just because, you know, not gonna say I'm arguing in the comment section, but I feel like when people argue in the comment section, it rarely comes off as...
It doesn't look good for anybody.
Yeah, as intelligent as it sounds in your head. But I will look through the comment section and write down in this notepad any different perspectives that I think, you know, hang valid or that we kind of maybe...
Yeah, and like, if somebody comes off with a perspective that honestly changed my mind, then I definitely am more than happy to retrace my thoughts and my statements. That's just my personal feels. Yeah, enlighten me.
Smite me, oh smitey smiter.
Smite me, oh mighty smiter.
So, in news today, UFC, well, not today, but in news this week, UFC and USADA have changed their view on marijuana and marijuana metabolites.
Yes.
So it is no longer being, not that it's not being tested for, but it's not. Even if the
being
test
tested for it, but it's not. You're not being docked for it.
You're not being docked for it. They've come to a new understanding of it.
Yes.
As they think back in the day, it was like, oh, this person's gonna dampen their pain receptors by smoking weed. But now with the the modernization of the perspective of marijuana and the use in so many fields, either medical or recreational, they've come to the understanding that it doesn't work like that.
Right.
It really doesn't.
I do think some people. I do think it does help. I do think it does enhance. But I do also think that other things that are prescribed by air quotes a doctor. If you get a doctor's note for Adderall because you are low on attention span, then you're allowed to take Adderall, and they test for Adderall, and if you pass and you got your doctor's note, you're good to fight. When that's jazzing you up and getting you stimulated. So I do think that my personal take on this is I think it's the right thing to do. Yeah. I do think that's what you should do.
There's fighters that have been.
I feel like it's what you should do because it enhances as much as everything else. Like me personally, after I smoke, I love to go train. I love to go do something like that because it focuses me. So I would consider it performance enhancing. But like I said, so is Adderall. Yeah. So is so many other. I mean, you could even caffeine. You could even go down and consider. Allergy medicine. You know what I mean? Like you're getting performance enhanced because if you didn't take that Benadryl earlier, you'd have a runny nose and you'd have to go like this all the time, and I'd pop you.
Or oxygen machines.
Yeah. So I just think it's, and this isn't me advocating like, oh, let's not care about anything, let them roid up and no. I'm just saying that they're
golden age of baseball.
Yeah. I'm just Sosa, baby, Sosa. But I'm just saying that I think it enhances similar to other things, and I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm certainly happy that they
and the benefits are so huge.
Yeah, that they kind of took out that whole entire situation because we've lost some fighters to that. We've lost,
and it puts a bad stigma on it. You know, it makes the stigma of marijuana. It's better when you get.
It's Reagan's war on drugs.
Yeah, when you get agencies and stuff like the UFC that are saying, okay, we know people smoke, we're accepting it, it's not a big deal. It drops the stigma of what smoking and the perspective of what a smoker is, and people might actually start to realize that it is more a helper than it is than it is to hurt somebody. Yeah, like it helps you 10 times more than it'll ever hurt you in 20,000 different ways than you could ever. I mean, you can do everything with the stuff. You know what I mean? So, trying to take the stigma of it being such a horrendous thing away from it will help everyone in every field in general.
Yeah, no one's banned nicotine. No one's openly been like, hey, you smoke cigarettes, you're not allowed to be here.
Right, and nicotine can't go from being a drug to clothing to gasoline. You see what I'm saying? So there's just it's just not even.
Yeah, it's hard to put a blanket over.
It's nowhere near what the type of magical. And I don't want to say it like that to sound like some type of stonery, but you know what I mean? Like it is a great plant, and the stigmas that are around it have hindered people from using it
and made people look at other people in a different light. Yeah. Like I've definitely been on the receiving and the giving end of it, where before I smoked, I'd see people smoking and it'd be like, I'm not doing. Obviously I had asthma before. Right. Well, honestly I had asthma, but it was one of those things where I'm not doing that. Why? Because Dare.
Yeah.
Because Dare made me fear, not fear, but it gave me a different perspective that was no more true than a perspective of a person that would tell me, hey, I smoke because I have a stomach ache. It gave me a perspective that was only one-dimensional. Yeah. Where it was like, it was a singular perspective. It could have been an old person being like, I drink all day. How dare you smoke this marijuana near me? But and then I've been on the receiving end where I was like, oh man, so like you just like looked at me as unreliable just because I smoke. If anything, I'm more thoughtful.
Right. And honestly, like, like it does, like I said, it's less hurtful to you than other things. Like, I've trained my body for years of training and stuff, and now I work construction. So should I go to the doctor and go get all these pain pills that they will give me because I've got knee pains, I've got back pains, I've got proof to show why I have these things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can go there and probably walk out with 3 different pills tomorrow. Or can I self-medicate with a little bit of this plant and it take care of 2 or 3 different things at once and be good to go without any of the side effects that those other drugs would have given me?
Yeah, I think it's a good move. It's a good move towards the future. It's a
very good move on UFC.
It definitely will not erase, but it'll lessen the stigma.
Yeah, it will.
Of athletes smoking.
When you see an athlete with an 8-pack that just performed 5 rounds of the most insane sport that you've ever seen.
I don't mean to speak out of turn.
Absolutely, but like when you see that and then you see that he tested positive for a little bit of marijuana, you go, oh, he was just self-medicating.
Yeah.
He trained really hard and he had to smoke a little bit so that way he could train and perform well.
Yeah. He had a sore day, he smoked, and now he's feeling a little better.
Now he's good.
And on the topic of UFC, we have some events. We have we might recover this second one, but our first event, Fight Island 7. This Saturday, tomorrow, Max Holloway will be fighting Calvin Kattar. It will be, I think Max plus Holloway will win this fight. But
I heard that the Kattar dude is kind of good. Isn't he from like Dagestan or something like that?
I'm pretty sure. But
dude, I might have.
But Max Holloway is coming off of that
loss,
the close loss to I'm trying to think of Alexander Volkanovski.
Dude, I think Kattar beats him.
You think Kattar's gonna beat him?
If it's the guy I'm thinking of, I think so. I think he beats him.
Yeah, it doesn't show me more than that.
I'm going dark.
Okay.
Is that today?
No, that's tomorrow.
Oh,
tomorrow. So Max Holloway versus Kattar. And I'm just gonna say some names that we know. There's obviously more fighters out there.
And there's a lot of these that I probably don't know too. So,
Carlos Conduit versus Matt Brown. Carlos, the natural-born killer Conduit, versus Matt Brown. Matt Brown, I believe he fights out of American AKA, American Kickboxing Academy.
I thought you were gonna say Top Team.
No, AKA. And he's versing Carlos Conduit, who is a longtime brawler, submission practitioner. He's overall a good fighter. He's been fighting since
since a while, but I'm gonna give that to the veteran.
And then Li Jing Lang versus Santiago Ponzinibbio.
I don't know either of them fellas. I'm gonna go Pons.
Well, Lee is fighting out of the Risen Japanese circuit, and I believe it is her third.
Oh, it's a her.
Yeah.
But the name of the other person is Santiago.
I know.
Oh, is that the last name or the first name?
Oh, I believe that's a Brazilian fighter. Just like how Cyborg is a name of a fighter.
It's a fighting. That's not like their actual name, because O is always masculine.
No, this is the last names, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
A girl with an O for the last name.
Yeah.
For the first. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the manly name.
Okay. And I'll recheck this one. Just so I'm not. Multiple. Oh, his. Okay. So
it's his. it's men.
Well, there is a Li Jingjing, that is a female fighter in the featherweights. like an actual.
Okay, well I knew. All right, well I'm going with Santiago.
Okay,
because he was a man, and
sorry,
Lee and Santiago gonna fuck you up when they see you. If they ever see you,
you know, stomp the crap out of me. All right, well,
send you the shadow realm.
Either way, it is
Jorge Masvidal's toes from that fight.
Fight Island 7 is on ESPN Plus, and it is on tomorrow, Saturday. Hopefully, when the episode comes.
I don't know. I think how it's going to work on ESPN Plus is you have to have the ESPN Plus subscription, which I do have, but I think you have to pay for the pay-per-view on top of that.
Okay.
If you don't, then I'll make sure that I watch it and try to have a little bit of a cap.
Yeah, we're gonna
retake on it. If not, maybe we'll try to fucking go somewhere and see it or something.
And we're gonna move on to UFC 257. This is not this Saturday, but the 23rd, the Saturday after this one. Hopefully, some bars will open up, restaurants will open up by that time. Yeah, fingers crossed, you know. But these are the ones I know more of, and I got pictures.
I got pictures
for these people, so you know, I think I know what they are.
They are.
I'm not gonna use any pronouns. No, I'm gonna use them.
They're human.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
Yeah, they're human.
Terrible.
Tisk.
Okay.
So Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor.
McGregor, baby, that's Mac Attack, son, and he's looking better, dude. You see my man's watch? Oh my god! Oh, my phone's. Oh my god, dude.
Is he gonna beat him up with the watch?
Dude, to wear a watch, the one he was wearing yesterday, is $1 million watch. It's beautiful. It looked like he had,
so beautiful.
What is the place underneath the city underneath the sea, Atlantis?
Yeah.
It looked like some Atlantis type shit. Like there was a little blue ball and it was like see-through and then diamonds and gold, like, and it like, man. Sorry, it was crazy.
Hey, shout out to his watch.
It was crazy, son. I don't even know what it was, but McGregor is looking really good. Okay. Dana White just came out and said that he usually can tell when McGregor is like on his stuff, and he said that McGregor is on, and this is the best McGregor that Dana White has ever seen. There is a couple other people, on record of saying that this is the best. They think this is the best version of Conor that they have seen, and I'm not gonna lie, good dude's props, dude. He kind of looks like he's trying to become a superhero. Like, dude is ripped. I mean, he always was ripped, but dude, he's like blowing up. Like he's starting to get like,
well,
thick.
If there's ever a DC opening for Guy Gardner, the Ginger Green Lantern, Conor McGregor can definitely do it. But he can bowl cut it out.
I think he would. I think he's gonna beat up on Dustin Poirier kind of bad. I think he even went on record as saying he's gonna knock him out in 60 seconds.
Do you want any of the stats?
No,
because there's a striking.
Bring him
if we don't need him, we don't.
No, I don't think we need him. I think Conor's gonna beat him. Conor's saying he's gonna knock him out in a minute or under. I don't think it's gonna be necessarily that. But also, side note, last time he said something like that, he said he was gonna hit. He said he was gonna knock out.
Khabib.
No.
Wait, no, it was Nate.
No, it was. Sorry, I just had it. He said. He called when he was going to knock out Jose Aldo.
And Eddie Alvarez before that.
And he knocked out Jose right on cue. So we'll see. We'll see.
And Chad Mendes.
He's done it a few times.
He's really good at predicting. It's the luck of the Irish. This is the one I'm the most excited about. The co-main event is Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler. Now,
Michael Chandler's got that.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Michael Chandler is one of the reigning and defending lightweight champions of Bellator, and him and Patricio Pitbull have been fighting back and forth for that lightweight title. And Michael Chandler, he's held it for a while. He's a really good fighter, and his contract with Bellator just
went out.
Yeah, just went out, and this is his premier fight.
Yeah, he's got that.
He is Dana's new cash cow, and let's see how he performs.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna belittle the other fighter, because Dan Hooker, he fought Dustin Poirier in a very close battle in which he was submitted, but he was dominating.
Majority of the fight.
He was dominating a majority of the fight. So, like, if anyone's going to be the journeyman to segue Michael Chandler in there, and Michael Chandler is a veteran of the game, it has to be a top 7 member. And what better top 7 member than the person that just fought the person that's fighting for the lightweight, for one of the top lightweight spots.
Right.
So it's going to be an interesting fight. I have Chandler winning this one.
I do too.
He's heavy-handed. You have Jessica Ai versus Joanna Calder. I can look at the odds at this one just to help us. So Jessica Evil Eye versus Joanna JoJo Calder, like the JoJo. So Jessica Ai is 15-8, and Joanna is 14-4.
I'm gonna give
relatively
it to,
the same.
I'm gonna give it to Jessica. She's the American fighter.
Yeah, she's the heavier fighter.
Oh, she is.
So she has to. She drops down. Yeah, she drops down 15 pounds for 15 plus pounds for this. But she has a majority of her wins by decision, whereas Joanna has more TKO decision wins.
Okay.
Joanna's the more prevalent striker.
Yeah.
Whereas Jessica can.
But I think these numbers are based on having 2 less fights too.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, these
more than
they
2.
might be inflated.
Well, I think one of them's had like 23 fights and one's had 18. So the one with 18 is gonna have better numbers, obviously.
So you have the American Jessica Ai.
Yep.
I'm gonna scroll past a couple of these because there's. Where is he?
I think that's it.
Well, I'm gonna give a little shout out to there's a fighter that was on the Tough season 17. Khalil. His first name's Khalil. He's in the undercards. He has a godly mustache. This dude looks like he could pull you.
White guy?
Nah.
Oh.
He is African American.
I was thinking of a different guy then.
But he has a super trooper mustache, and he had the grossest someone went for a takedown, and it was like a uppercut. Yeah, uppercut knockout in the tough entries, and then he had another victory for light heavyweight. Mm-hmm. So keep an eye out for Khalil.
Nice.
He's a good fighter. I like to watch him perform. I'm not good with last names. If I were to name every fighter, or if I were to try to name every fighter in every division, I'd come up short 100% of the time. But
right.
Keep an eye out for Khalil. He's definitely a good fighter. A lot of effort put into it, and I'm happy to see that even after not winning the tough finale, he's getting action.
Okay, cool.
On to the hopeful highlights. There's some stuff out here that I thought was interesting. So Bethesda, the makers of the Skyrim games, Fallout, a lot of open world RPGs that I play a lot of, they teased an Indiana Jones video game.
Oh, that would probably be cool.
Yeah, they have a lot of resources. Cool. I'm excited to see what happens. They released a trailer, which is just a compass, a hat, a whip going across the table. But 6 months prior, their CEO, Todd Howard, had a crystal skull behind in one of his video calls. Well, that was the first teaser, which I really thought is neat.
Yeah.
Next up, Ubisoft and LucasArts are making a Star Wars open world game. Open world RPG. The last one, Star Wars RPG that I played was Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 and online. This is the first Star Wars RPG that hasn't been made by, the first Star Wars game that hasn't been made by EA.
Okay.
So EA's kind of monopolized Star Wars. So it's a new company, LucasArts, who
they'll put a little bit more into it, I think.
New perspective. It's real cool. Just keep an eye out for it.
Not that EA did anything wrong, but I think LucasArts would be better for it.
EA kind of ends up, EA over Ubisoft ends up they're huge with that loot box thing. They kind of coined the loot box for a while, where it kind of put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, and I'd like to see Star Wars in a different light.
Okay.
There was a TV show that I thought you might be interested in, and I thought was very interesting. It's called Tough as Nails. Shout out to Tough as Nails. It is a trade/skilled laborer competition show.
That sounds kind of cool.
They have electricians, carpenters, tin knockers, welders. They participate in like everyone else's like kind of trade and general skilled labor stuff, and they have like little competitions to see who's gonna be the who's tough as nails, who's the toughest person.
That's pretty cool.
So I thought it was really cool. It kind of diversifies the competitive thing. Like, I'm sick and tired of seeing all these bodybuilders doing races and crap.
Right.
I want to see
big gutted skilled trade.
Yeah, I want to see the working man make some money.
Right.
And I want to see him get acknowledged. And I really think that's cool.
That's sweet. I've watched. That is probably something I'd be interested in, because whenever I am in something, I have a tendency to get infatuated with it. So once I got into the electrical trade, I started watching like the National Electrical Championship. Like, it's some super nerd stuff.
Hey, there's a cornhole championship.
It is what it is. It's just trying to soak up information, trying to soak up knowledge. So I'm sure I'd probably like to watch that for sure. Definitely.
I thought it was cool. And on a side note, Bungie's archive of all old Halo stats are going offline next month. So
and screenshots?
Yeah, and screenshots.
Man,
so all your sticky nades,
Yoshi,
your Yoshi, getting Walshy.
People are gonna forget about Walshy.
Hey, remember the greats.
R.I.P. Walshy.
The career, not the person.
Because he was out here crushing scrubbies before scrubbies knew they were scrubbies.
Getting W's, crushing scrubbies.
Yeah, getting W's, crushing mad scrubbies.
You know, if you have a KD,
if Scrubby Wubby was a bear, there'd be W's everywhere.
That is the truth. So if you really have your heart set on knowing what your kill-death ratio is, knowing how many kills you had with a certain item, knowing where you placed in leaderboards, or if you had any cool picks from your childhood that you don't want to let go of, this is your month to retrieve that stuff off the platform, off Bungie's platform.
And how are they retrieving that? You can just upload those things to...
Yeah, you can...
to your system, or upload them to a private like USB dock, or how does that work?
So it's currently stored on the website, although the archives have not been updated in years. So you can go to halo.bungie.net and get your player stats, anything that you have saved down there.
Okay.
And Halo 2, 3, ODST, and Reach are all the archived stats and pictures that are being taken down. So if you have anything from that era that you're super proud of, this is your month to retrieve it, put it on a hard drive, show your kids when you're show your grandkids, show them how cool.
Show them how cool it was to let somebody think they were going to sneak up behind you, and then you jumped behind them and donkey punched them in the back of the head.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. That was the real ninja, not the dude from Michigan with blue hair. The original ninja was that real Holyfield.
I don't know how you can be a ninja and you're fluorescent.
Yeah, I don't mess with that Fortnite dude. But
whatever.
The original ninja got here. That was the move.
All right, we've reached my favorite section, our shout-outs.
Oh, we're coming close to an end here, folks. All right.
All good things have to come to an end.
They do. Shout-outs.
You got one? I got one. You want me to go and you go? Or you go and me go?
You can go first. Go first. Go ahead.
I want to give a huge shout-out to my man Cam, the drummer of Vincey D. The drummer
and the Boyz
of the Plastic Bears. He's the drummer of Tangelo. This man makes more plays than Tom Brady.
He got like 6 bands apparently.
Cam the man. Cam with the cat. Cam with the hat. He ain't got hair, but he got the smile. He has the greatest smile ever. And shout out to Cam for joining the PDGA as one of as one of their representatives, I believe, for communications and marketing.
He got a job with the pro disc golf?
Yes, he did. Shout out to Cam. He's making plays out here. And, hey,
that's so tight.
In COVID time, I really respect it.
Is he a good disc golfer?
I have never went discing with Cam, but,
Hey, Cam, I'm getting okay. Come and have a practice round. I want to see how you're doing. I just want to play with you. That's awesome. I would like that. That's super tight. Honestly, that's probably coming from a disc person that likes disc golfing. That's probably like close to a dreamish type of job. Like that's got to be awesome. Like for real. Like that or being part of the Jomez crew. Like that would be sick. Like for sure.
Hey, this cat he never stops.
That's sick.
Never stops in school. He never stops in his artistry, which shows in the fact that he's the drummer of a lot of bands. And I've seen him play multiple shows in a night because he's been in the opening act, the middle act, and the closing act.
That's dope.
He's a really cool guy, heart of gold, and he deserves all this good stuff he gets because he puts the work in. Shout out to Cam, and I really hope you're living your best life right now.
Shout out to Cam. That is super dope.
Yeah.
Man. Who am I gonna shout out?
Shout out Taco Bell for the potatoes. You're gonna be basic.
I don't really be messing with like Taco Bell like that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna shout out a dude that I'm working with. I'm gonna shout out Lorenzo that I'm working with because had a little bit of a short week and whatnot, and he threw me on one of the side jobs. And honestly, the extra money really came into handy this week. Like without it, it would have put me in a little bit of a tough spot, and he didn't have to put me on, his extra crew or whatever to do whatever. And that money put in my hand in the middle of the week was definitely came as a surprise and helped out a ton. So I'm gonna shout him out because that really helped me out. So
super shout out because it's always good to have someone looking out for you.
And everybody in the trades knows, man, side work is like that's kind of where you can make your money.
It's the life's blood.
Yeah, so that's where my shout out is gonna go this week.
Wicked. And if any of you friends have a shout out you want for this week, I mean, then obviously we're gonna be posting both these videos on the same day. Do a shout out.
Yep.
We have 2 weeks worth of shout outs. Get the name out there.
Yep.
Whether it be a small business, a celebrity that's got you through these times, or a person that's got you through these times. I definitely would appreciate any sort of shout outs out there because the more you notice, the more people notice you care.
Yep.
It's always good to tell someone the impact that they have on you.
For sure.
And so for our last segment, what we learned, what we want to learn. What'd you learn this week?
What did I learn this week? I think I was talking to somebody earlier. I think actually kind of just a weird, I guess, lesson, not to like super rant or anything like that. Something I learned this week is try not to let a fumble mess up your flow. And what I mean by that is it was just something small, like we just had like a different setup on Wednesday as opposed to other days of the week, like so it messed up kind of my work day. We really didn't get to start work till almost lunch. And for some reason that fumble on Wednesday kind of I feel like made the rest of that Wednesday, the following Thursday, and even today Friday go kind of slow. And I feel like it was because my mindset was a little bit fumbled. Because it wasn't anything severe. We just had to go somewhere else for work and then drive to work. But it kind of messed up my groove, and when it messed up my groove, it slowed me up, which made me feel like, oh, I lost this day, which made me feel like, oh, since I lost this day, it made my week kind of feel slow and almost feel like I didn't get enough out of it. So something I want to say that I learned in retrospect on my car ride home today is don't let the fumble mess up the flow. If you've got something small that happens, don't allow it to make the rest of your week not productive. Which, not saying I wasn't productive this week, but I could have been a lot more productive if my mindset was in the mindset of I'm here to get stuff done, here to bust it and really kill it. And I had that mindset Monday and Tuesday, and then the thing happened Wednesday, and it just kind of made me real sluggish and made me feel like I was working slow. So don't let the fumble mess up the flow. That's going to be what I learned, I would say.
That's a really good lesson. I feel, and I definitely am one of those types of people that once I start going a certain direction, I kind of put all my chips in that direction, not intentionally.
Yeah.
But it is really easy to see the dark of the situation when you're surrounded by it.
Yeah.
And it's easy to feed into that. And like sometimes it just takes looking in the other direction to see the light of it.
Yep. Yeah.
One thing that I learned this week, so much learning as a teacher. So much learning. I learned how to read. I learned how to count.
I learned how to read.
I learned how to put a puzzle together.
There you go.
No, I do learn every day with them. But I've been trying to implement taking a breath and feeling my emotions at the time, because I do this with kids a lot, and you got to teach what you preach.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the kids will get pent up and they'll get stuck on something, and they're feeling an emotion and they're acting on it.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I've been telling them is take a breath and say why you're feeling the emotion.
Right.
And it helps me. I tend to get pent up from time to time. Too many thoughts going in my head. There's like the SpongeBob skit where they're burning the papers in my head, and it's really easy to act off of an emotion,
mm-hmm.
rather than just feeling your emotion. We're all human. We're allowed to feel our emotions. You're
Right.
sad, feel sad. You're happy, feel happy. You're excited, feel excited.
Right.
But take a breath, feel the emotion, and then act how you would act.
Accordingly.
Don't act off the emotion. And it's helped a couple of my kids in the classroom reassess themselves, get their bearings right, and have a productive day, because it is really, like you were saying, it's easy to kind of roll off that bad stuff. So I've been trying to implement taking a breath, assessing the situation, feeling my emotion, and doing something. And maybe that's a mouthful to think about, but it helps me. It really helps me a lot to kind of just take a moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to. You have to take a moment and just one deep breath.
Yep.
But if there's anything you learned this week, if there's anything you want to learn, there's obviously we're not the oracles of wisdom.
Yeah, clearly.
But definitely put in the comment section. Speak on it with us. We're always happy to hear, and we definitely want to hear who is out there, who's listening. How we could get more attention. Any sort of topics that sound interesting to you that you'd like us to talk about, or that you'd like to just throw out there.
Yeah. Let us know. We'll definitely give it consideration and try to see if we can bring a game plan to it for sure.
Yeah. All right, everybody. This has been Speak On It
with the Keenan Boys. I'm Trevor.
I'm Jake.
And we're out. Peace.
Peace.